Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. Nope, it's not a mirage. You are seeing me for a second time this week as I do a double upload. And the reason for the double upload is that I am fully intrigued by GlitterandLazers, or Anna O'Brien's new video titled It's My Own Damn Fault. And I felt like I couldn't not react to this. So here I am. And also, you are seeing me wear a headphone on one side because I am going to attempt a proper reaction style video today. So please be patient with me as I figure out this format and test some new softwares. I don't foresee myself becoming a full-blown reaction channel in this way because holy hell, it is a lot of work. Without further ado, let's get into Anna's video.
Today I'm going to talk about something that I haven't really talked about for a while, and the reason I haven't talked about it in a while is I've been figuring some stuff out. Today we're going to talk about my health. So as you guys know, I have been trying to find a doctor, and it's been a process. It's been a while to find someone that I really trust, and I have that person now, and I'm...
For anyone who doesn't know or hasn't watched a previous video of mine on Anna's, Anna was a follower of fat acceptance for a very long time, and when she decided a few years ago that she wanted to start to lose weight, she started getting attacked by fat acceptance online, and then felt like doctors were scary, and maybe she shouldn't see a doctor. And so hearing her say that she has found someone that she trusts is a really big deal. So I'm really proud of her for fighting through that fear that was instilled by fat acceptance to find a doctor to support her. Ooh, sorry about pausing on that face. Here we go.
I'm extremely grateful for them. Going to the doctor was terrifying. In fact, I pretty much had a panic attack on my first appointment.
Oh, it makes me sad that she was so deeply embedded in fat acceptance that she had a panic attack before going to the doctor. It can be scary, and doctors can be jerks, but it's not that scary. And sometimes having anxiety can make you build it up in your own head. And from what we've seen of fat acceptance, we know that a lot of what they are spewing on the internet is related to their own internal anxieties. So those are being projected into the interwebs, and Anna got caught up in them, therefore giving her her own anxiety. So that makes me really sad. Let's see. I'm curious to see where she goes.
Appointment with the doctor I have now. He was very kind and very sweet to me, so everything netted out
okay.
Good,
good. I'm glad.
But I did find out some things that I did not know that were pretty scary. Before I get into what those were, and I'm not going to tell you super big details on it because honestly, it's none of your business.
She doesn't know us that.
But let me explain why I'm making this video, because there's a very important reason why I'm making this video. I actually debated about making it for a really long time. You can tell I'm really uncomfortable talking about this right now. This is not something I mean, I don't necessarily want to share this with the internet, but I feel like it's my responsibility to share this with the internet.
It's an interesting choice of phrase. I understand where she's coming from and why she would say it that way. She, for lack of a better phrase, opened this can of worms, bringing things related to her body and weight loss online. But to be fair, she was taking a lot of heat from both fat acceptance and the weight loss community. So, yeah, I get it. But again, she doesn't owe anyone anything. She could have just said she found a doctor and she's keeping it offline, and she could have done that. Everything is her prerogative, right? It's her channel. So I do applaud her, though, for choosing to share, because she has, like I said, opened this can of worms. So it's nice for her to sort of come back around and to see this story moving forward and progressing. And I hate using the word story, but that's sort of the way we see it as viewers, right? We're watching her life, we're watching her transform, we're watching her do these things. But I do want to remind people, like, Anna is a human being. I'm a human being. YouTubers are human beings. And it, even for me, can be hard to remember that sometimes. So, sorry, that was a tangent for me using the word story. I needed to mostly remind myself that YouTubers are human beings. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. Let's get back into it.
Whether I like it or not, people look up to me and people listen to me. And I think that this video could help save somebody's life. And that is why I'm making it. Oh. And I'll leave it at that. So, as a creator, and as just a plus-size person in general, I hear two things about my body all the time. On one end, I hear from the body positive community or just general plus-size community that I should love my body, accept it as it is, and learn to embrace and love everything about it, okay? On the other side, I hear from people who are very anti-fat people in general, telling me that I should starve myself, that I should not eat, that I should exercise more.
I wasn't going to stop it. I was going to let her finish her thought, but it just makes me uncomfy that that's the way she's choosing to describe sort of the reaction community. I guess she could be describing trolls, but it just seems inappropriate. People on here, as far as the reaction channels I watch, including some of the harsher ones like Alan Roberts, some of the nicer ones like Michelle McDaniel and Obese to Beast, they're never advocating for people to starve themselves. And it feels icky for her to come on here and sort of misrepresent, especially because some of those channels have helped dig people out of fat acceptance. It worked for me, just hearing someone else's thoughts, and to have such a large audience the way Anna does and just immediately turn them off to people who are presenting reasonable arguments, when they are reasonable. People are not perfect. I don't know, that really just grinds my gears in a way that I wasn't prepared for it to do. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with her putting it that way, I guess.
And frankly, I gave both of these audiences way too much of my attention. And what ended up happening is, as I started to gain weight over the last couple of years, unbeknownst to me how or why, I started to take from this side that, kind of critiques fat people. I started to take that if I was tired or exhausted or upset at the end of the day, that's because I was overweight. And so I began to work very, very hard on getting into shape and getting, and pushing myself really beyond.
Yes, we know. One of my most popular uploads was actually me talking about when Anna started to work out. She went way too hard. She was a case study in the reason that people think they want to change their lives, push too hard, and then move towards fat acceptance. She went 0 to 10,000 overnight. I mean, she was doing long hikes in Hawaii on steep terrain day after day. Like, not even, I did a long hard hike, I'm going to take a week to, sort of reset and do lighter exercise in between. She was doing these day in and day out on what was supposed to be a vacation and a work trip. And she, in that video, I talked about her mentioning she was so sore that she couldn't pick her feet up out of the sand and she had to just fall down and cry. And like that is too much. That is pushing your body too hard. And I'm not sure exactly where she's going, but nobody advocates for that. Literally nobody. It's a thing that people tend to do. Like I said, when they want to lose weight, they think they have to do this. It's ingrained in them. They buy, in my example, buy workout plans created by people who have been athletes their whole lives and just think that they can do 250 burpees in their first HIIT workout. It's just not how it works, and that's how people get burnt out and or injure themselves and make themselves worse because they haven't yet overcome the food addiction or whatever else they're working on, and now suddenly they have to be sedentary because they're injured. Nobody who is reasonable or sane would recommend that Anna do what she did and that Anna push as hard as she did. So I'm uncomfortable. It's a little bit of projection here. And I'm hoping she'll course correct and kind of pull herself back, but we'll see.
The limits that I should have, and that's a very honest response. And I always just felt extremely tired. So, but I kept pushing. And I would push myself so hard that oftentimes after a really big thing that I pushed through, I would need 2 days, sometimes a week to recover, which is not normal. It's not normal.
Yes, it's not normal. That's maybe the most accurate thing that I've heard so far. For the record, that is not normal. If you are just finding your way out of fat acceptance, if you are just sick of being in a fat body where you're uncomfortable and you're tired all the time, you do not have to go 0 to 1,000. And anybody who tells you that you do is lying to you. You can take it slow. You can change things step by step by step. It does not have to be all at once. And honestly, you should not be so sore that you have to take a week off. That's doing too much.
But I thought it was normal because I kept hearing from this audience that it was because I was lazy. And I would say,
no, nobody in the audience ever said that. And again, as someone who watches both Anna and those other channels, like I feel pretty confident in saying that. Literally no one was like, Anna, go and work out so hard that you're sore. The advice I often hear them giving is go for a walk, start with low impact exercises, find things that you like to do, that way it's sustainable, stretch. I've literally never heard any of them advocate for anybody to starve or work themselves too hard. And so for her to say that, I can feel myself getting a little annoyed, so I'm trying to pull back. I'm still very proud of her for advocating for herself and finding a doctor. I'm still curious what she's going to say. I'm glad she titled the video, "It's My Own Damn Fault," because it means she's taking some responsibility. But again, it's the misrepresentation for me. Like, don't come online and say things that are blatantly false and expect people to not react to them. That you can't, that's just not how it works.
To people in my life that I'm so out of shape, I need to get better in shape, this shouldn't affect me as much. And I would say that all the time, and I would literally like beat myself up for not being in shape enough, okay? Even though I was trying and I was really doing all the right things to get there, I wasn't progressing and I wasn't showing any difference in my levels of stamina and some other things, okay? On this side, it was like, love your body as you are. You know, you are this way because you are, right? And so I was caught in this middle where I both attacked myself mentally every day for not being able to do what a thin person, what I thought was just my weight, couldn't do. And then also embrace and love my body, thought this is just the way it is, okay?
There's a lot to unpack in that little bit of time. I was trying not to pause it, which is why you saw me make faces. I don't want to pause too frequently, but it is true. In her vlogs from Hawaii, she did say frequently she wanted to keep up to her friends, and they could move a lot quicker than she could. And the truth is, a lot of people go from 0 to 1,000 because they don't realize how much they have lost, how much mobility, how much flexibility. When I say that I went and bought a workout from an athlete, I did. I bought a workout from Ashley Horner, and if you don't know who she is, you should Google her. She is a bodybuilder, an athlete, and she trained her way up to that. And so I thought, okay, I can train my way to that. And I didn't want to start with a beginner plan because I ran cross country and I used to be able to do, like 3 to 5 pull-ups. Like, I don't need to start at a beginner level. I know my way around the gym. And that first workout had 250 burpees in it. And I was so sore. I couldn't move for a week. And I remember coming home and I just cried and cried and cried because I thought that I could do those things. I didn't realize how far gone my body was. That was the moment I realized how much damage I had done to myself. And I think that's why I'm getting a little bit peeved here, is when you actually start to reconcile what you've done to yourself and you start to dig yourself out, it takes a lot of work. And the first step to that is being completely open and honest with yourself. And I feel like in this moment, I'm seeing Anna not be honest about certain things. She's lying to herself, and the only person that is going to hurt is her. And so again, I'm glad she's taking baby steps. I think that it's a good thing that she's trying to be transparent, but she's just missing the mark for me in some places. And I say that as a person who's kind of gone the same path as Anna. I just didn't do it in front of an audience until I chose to. So, yeah.
So this is kind of what led me not to go to a doctor. Also from the fat community, I heard that doctors are scary. Doctors will just tell you about weight loss. Doctors are just going to prescribe you medication and tell you that that's the solution to your problems. So I built a deep fear of being told to lose weight, and also a deep...
Yes, and this is part of my issue with fat acceptance, is the things that they are putting online, they don't see them as dangerous. They don't see them as inflammatory. They see, okay, I'm helping people out by telling them the way that a doctor's going to treat them. They've gone as far as to make the don't weigh me cards and give people talking points for their doctors. And it makes people so afraid to go to the doctor that they then put it off until it's almost too late to get help. And I appreciate in my personal life, I've started working at a place. I have met people who are like prevention, prevention, prevention. If you go in for your annual checkups, if you're going in for your preventative dental cleanings, it saves you from getting to the point in time that you then need $5,000 worth of tooth repair, because you've been preventing it this whole time with little small steps and doing what you can do. And it's true that you could be doing all the preventative measures, and sometimes life just smacks you in the face and you get a diagnosis that you don't like regardless, but taking steps to prevent it is something you can do. And a lot of folks who are in fat acceptance don't do that because they're being told that doctors are scary and that doctors are going to tell them to lose weight. And like, if that's the worst thing the doctor says to you, tell me you have first world problems without telling me you have first world problems. I mean, honestly. All right, I'm gonna cool down and let Anna continue.
Fear of taking any medication or solution to lose weight. Okay, so both of these sides yelled at me, and I'm gonna say right now, here and now, bad choices. Maybe not bad choices.
Okay, it's a step.
Choices that weren't my choices. I was making choices based on this input, which is my own fault, by the way. It's my own damn fault. This video should just be titled "It's My Own Damn Fault," because it is.
And I will eat a few of my words. I'm glad to see her taking accountability. And it is hard when you feel like people are coming at you from all sides, and it creates confusion and chaos. And for people who are undecisive or indecisive like myself, it can make it really hard to make a decision because you have all these voices coming at you. And when you have a following and both sides are in the following, like, it can be so hard, but you do have to take personal responsibility for following those voices because nobody made you do that. And the truth is, part of the reason I'm proud of her is breaking out of that means you realize that you are the only person who can get you out of this. You are the only person you can trust. You have to make decisions for your body. Literally nobody else can do it. So even just hitting those little things is going to be huge as she continues to move forward.
Eventually I got to the point where I started to realize how much these two voices yelled at me. Actually, I would say I learned that this side was yelling at me. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be as big as I am right now. And I want to investigate how I can change it. And this had nothing to do with being attractive, by the way. I literally do not care if you find me, excuse my French, fuckable. I do not care. I do not care.
This is why I love Anna. She's always honest.
I just don't. It's not important to me. But what is important to me is mobility and being active. And I didn't want to feel tired all the time, exhausted all the time from basic everything.
I'm just curious if she's going to say that she was anemic, because I felt exhausted and tired all the time. Like, my heart would feel like it was palpitating out of my chest just walking like a half a block. And I got a blood test and they were like, you are so anemic that we are considering a blood transfusion. So I'm just curious based on my own experience.
Everyday activities. So I decided to just kind of tune out this crowd, maybe listened a little bit too much to the people over here. And I finally decided I'm going to go to the doctor and I'm going to get one of the new hormonal weight loss drugs that are out there. And this is really what led me to go to the doctor. And part of this had to do with the campaign I did with a brand earlier that talked about, you know, you should be seeing a doctor if you're overweight as your first step to any solution. And you know what, a lot of people hated on that campaign, but in a lot of ways that campaign saved my life because it got me thinking about, yeah, you know, I don't really know why I'm overweight and I should be talking to someone. And yeah, I have lipedema, but it's like, is that really the cause? And like, who knows what's going on with my body? So I made an appointment with the doctor. Again, I totally freaked out, had a panic attack there. We took some labs and my doctor literally said to me, he's like, I can't give you a diet and I can't give you anything until I see what these labs come back as, because that would be like irresponsible of me. He sounds pretty sound to me. So he did suggest that I start eating 5 times a day, which ironically, this group told me to eat less. My doctor told me to eat more.
Again, just want to make it clear for the record. Telling you to eat 5 times a day doesn't necessarily mean he's telling you to eat more calories. Bodybuilders are a testament to being able to eat 5 to 8 times a day and maintaining a leaner body. So I'm curious why they suggested that. I know that works for some people. I also know that they can use that sometimes to try to regulate your blood sugar to make sure that you're eating. Yeah, I don't eat until noon because I'm not hungry. And when I tried eating 5 times a day, I was freaking miserable. And in all honesty, it made me want to binge more because the earlier I eat, it's like it flips a switch. So it's a thing, and I'm rambling again. But Anna, this is the thing. You can't make it seem like, see, my doctor told me to eat more calories, because that's not what's happening. He told you to eat more times per day. There's a difference.
And that we would probably have another appointment once the labs came back. So fast forward about a week and a half, the labs come back. And there are some interesting results. I'm not going to share everything that was in them, but I will share
you don't have to.
The high-level details. First and foremost, I am not diabetic. I am also do not have cholesterol issues, and I don't really have anything like in that vein of the woods that my weight is affecting me with. It is affecting me in some of my mobility and my flexibility, and probably has a little issue with my joints, but all of the things that people like to shout that fat people are going to have, I'm not even near.
So that's what I was waiting for. Again, I was making faces, trying to see where she was going with this, and it's always interesting to me that this is a bragging point, right? Like, I got to this high weight and I wasn't diabetic, and I don't have high cholesterol. So take that, haters. Like, it's a weird hill to die on, honestly. And I'm just curious, like, what, for someone who is struggling with diabetes, either in a fat or thin body, like, what are you saying to them? Like, what are you implying about diabetes in this moment? So, again, weird suck it haters moment. Yeah. I'll just let the video continue.
To having them. In fact, my doctor said my cholesterol looks fantastic. Okay?
So weird.
But what did come back is that I am severely anemic. I think.
Oh, there it is. Anemic.
The doctor said like he was really confused at how I was even functioning with the level of anemia.
Blood transfusion.
And that I also have some autoimmune disorders, and they are pretty dominant, and they are going to need special programs to deal with.
Okay.
Additionally, I have some other issues that I really don't know what they are now, but I'm seeing another specialist for. They can see basically the effects of these issues, but they don't know what which is the root cause of the issue. I know that's vague, but I don't want to tell you something and be wrong. They know that stuff is happening in my body that should not be happening, but they don't know why it's happening. So I've been referred to 2 specialists to deal with these issues. It is going to be a lot to deal with. I'm going to be fine, but it is a dramatic change in my life. I've gone from taking no medication to taking medication twice a day.
And earlier she said too, she went to the doctor to get the hormonal weight loss drugs. And I just want to make sure you can tell that she feels some type of way about taking medication. Excuse me. And I think it's important to just tell people it's okay if you have to take medication. Like there's no shame in that, and allowing yourself to feel shame will only trap you where you are. These drugs are tools to get you out. You need to use them alongside other tools, but that's what a doctor and a professional team are for. They certainly do not want you to have to be on drugs for the rest of your life unless that's what your autoimmune disease or issue calls for. So I'm sad that she feels bad that she's taking 2 medications a day. But again, I think that is the right step forward for her. And so hopefully she'll overcome that. It will become more normal. And that will work itself out, because again, if that's what your doctor's prescribing, then it's clearly what you need. You know, what you already did to your body is in the past. So getting hung up on that and feeling shame is only going to make you spiral in a negative way. Yeah.
I have been on a whole lot of supplements and stuff for about a week now, and honestly, my energy is like starting to feel better. Good. And I was like, if it's going to take like a couple months for it to get normal, and even longer, because there's something that's causing all of these issues that will need to be resolved, and then I'll feel even better. But I spent years, literally years, thinking it was because I was lazy, and because I was out of shape, and because I was, you know, fat, that I was so tired and I was so exhausted. And I pushed my body and I hurt my body because I was actually very sick. And I just feel like I have to make a video. So if someone out there is thinking like, should I go to the doctor? Like, are they going to be mean to me? You shouldn't care whether they're mean to you. You should care whether they can help you figure out what's going on. And if they tell you to lose weight, well, that's like, if that's like the worst thing that could happen, I think it's worth it to.
Yeah. And I said as much earlier, so I won't be a broken record, but I'm sad to see that she's, you know, welling up and holding back tears, but I also understand the frustration of having waited, having been indecisive, having all these voices in your head. And the truth is, her weight probably didn't help the situation. We can't be sure, we can't speculate, and I'm not here to do that. But certainly, like for me, when I went to the doctor and found out that I had all of these issues, I mean, a large part of it, and they just blatantly told me, which I appreciate based on the point that I'm at in my life, that having so much adipose tissue on your body, like adipose tissue is its own organ and it produces hormones. And so for women especially, that can really mess stuff up. And I had no idea. And for a long time, people were telling me, doctors were telling me that I needed to lose weight. I needed to lose weight. And I took that as a pity party, as a shame party. I was shaming myself and thinking that the doctors were shaming me, and I was projecting, and I spiraled out of control and continued to gain more adipose tissue, and my issues got worse and worse and worse. So I understand. I feel for her, and I'm a little sad that she's holding back tears. I don't do well when people cry. I tend to cry when other people cry, so I'm gonna try to hold it together so we can get through the rest of this.
To be really honest, I think it's worth going to the doctor and learning why you feel the way you feel, even if you may not like what they have to say.
I just want to take a minute to add, this just popped into my brain. Recently, I was sitting down with one of my friends and we were talking about doctors and blood tests and supplements and just that sort of realm of conversation. And she happened to mention that she does not trust blood tests because it's a one-time test at one point in your life. How can they use that to track what your needs are? And I think the larger point that people tend to miss when talking about doctors is the purpose and the importance of having a primary care physician. Is that if you're going to them year after year, if you're doing 6-month blood tests or annual blood tests based on your treatment plan with your doctor, it's not just one blood test. It's every single blood test they've ever run on you in your record. They can track trends, they can see things that are happening, and the same goes with your weight. If your weight is steady, 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 and then you suddenly start increasing like Anna, that's when a doctor will be like, whoa, whoa, what is happening? Is this something external? Are you dealing with a mental health crisis? Can we, do a referral for that? Are we dealing with something autoimmune? What do we need to do to slow this down? And so I'm sad that Anna didn't have that up until this point. Because she'll have been missing those years worth of data that existed prior. But that's the purpose of having a primary care physician. And I only wanted to get this on the record because a lot of my watchers, my YouTube analytics tell me, are around my same age, which is 30-somethings. And for some reason, all of us 30-somethings didn't have regular primary care physicians. I'm in the same boat. I had one for a really long time. When I had to be a grown-up and do things on my own, I let that fall off. I've now found another, but those years in between, I'm missing all of that data. So if you don't have a primary care physician, you should try to get one. And I know the healthcare system is effed. I don't have time to chat about that in this video, but I just wanted to make that point known. Doctors are capturing data on you all the time if you will let them.
I couldn't have ever expected that I would find out what I found out when I went to the doctor. I am still processing and dealing with the fact that in some ways I'm healthier than I thought I was, but in other ways I am sick. And that sucks. And it's nothing that's gonna kill me, but it is something that's like mentally screwed with my brain. Because I avoided this experience because I let assholes tell me how to feel about my body. I let strangers interpret how I felt. If you don't feel good, go to the doctor. If you're tired and you don't know why, go to the doctor. If you're gaining weight and you don't know why, go to the doctor. Don't go to Weight Watchers. Don't go to Google. Don't go to the body positive community. Don't go to the weight loss community. Go to the fucking doctor. And I'm sorry if I'm so passionate about it, but I am pissed at myself. I am mad. I could have been treating this. But instead, I was listening to these idiots who knew nothing about me. And now I have to deal with my decision.
It's true. And I think part of the reason she's so emotional is having to reconcile with that. And when you say the words out loud, it makes it real to you, right? You did this. Nobody else did it. And while it's true that you were getting advice from every direction, you ultimately chose to take that advice and follow it. And this, there's personal responsibility in it, but I also understand. I did the same things, and that's why when I made my Elliot Hulse video, I mean, some people were offended, but the truth is, when I was following people like Elliot Hulse, who can tend to be a little more extremist, telling people to fast for 72 hours, like those were the things when I had the same mindset as Anna that would send me over the edge, because I would think, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm a slob. Found Elliot Hulse. Look at him. He's a gorgeous man. He fasts for 72 hours. I can fast for 72 hours and then do this sort of workout. And then you have the realization of like, oh my gosh, this is the damage I've done. These are all the things I've been missing out on. And it's a process that you have to go through over and over again. But realizing that you're the one who chose to listen to online sources over your doctor, I mean, it's hard and it makes you feel like an idiot, even when you're really smart. And that has happened to me. Not to make my own head big, but I am a smart person. I got a 4.0 GPA. Like, I can read a book and analyze history, and I still effed up my body by listening to things that people said online, even though they didn't know me. I would go, like, for example, if you watch a live with Alan Roberts, people will ask him, like, well, how should I lose weight, or what should I do? And the truth is, he literally doesn't know you unless he's coaching you, and you've given him everything, almost like you would give a doctor: your weight, height, exercise, diet. Like, there's no way for people to know everything about you. And still, we go online and we take general weight loss advice, general health advice, and it's not a very good model. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't think that we can fix it, honestly. I think it's too far gone, and I think that's the machine that fat acceptance think they're raging against. And again, being the person who's caught up in it, as Anna is showing us here, it's devastating to a person, especially when you've put off your own health or tried to fix your health. Sorry, I hit my camera. Or tried to fix your health and then inadvertently made it worse. It's hard. It's hard to come to that realization and have to reckon with it. I feel for her.
Have to deal with it. And I am worse off for it. So if you get anything from this video, if you have not had your annual checkup, if you have not had your annual blood labs, if you haven't had your pap smear, if you haven't had your regular annual checkups, please go. Please book an appointment today. Please get it checked out. Because I don't want you to be like me. Because I was stupid and I did the wrong thing and I thought I was fine. Because I couldn't.
For the record, I don't think Hannah's stupid. And I don't do well with people who are crying. I've already said that, but it hurts my soul to hear her call herself stupid, because it's not true. Like I just sort of rambled about, like, you're a smart, capable human being who just took bad advice, and it happens to people. It happens to everyone. And sometimes the larger forces, they get to you, especially if you're an indecisive person, who feels like they need or want a lot of opinions before they make a decision. Yeah, I just hate hearing people call themselves stupid. If you have fallen into fat acceptance, if you have gotten binge eating disorder, if you have been overtly thin your entire life and you're trying all these different things, you're not a failure and you're not stupid. It's just the way that things worked out. And there's always a way to course correct. It's just finding the right people to get into your life to help you course correct. And for Anna, clearly it was a doctor that she needed to sort of kick that off.
And now that I'm starting to feel better, I didn't realize how bad I felt because I talked myself out of believing that I actually felt that way.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have anything else to say, but please see your doctor. That's it. John just cut the video. I don't have anything else to say. I'm a mess.
To wrap this up, because I've been filming for over 40 minutes now and I don't want this to be a feature film, I am so empathetic, and I can truly feel for the experience that Anna is having, because we've traveled pretty similar paths. And it's hard to watch someone else go through it. It's hard to watch anyone else go through the things that you've gone through. But if having two sisters has taught me anything, it's that people have to go through to learn on their own. And so there are people who will hear Anna say that and they will not believe her, and they will continue to listen to fat acceptance talking points, and they will continue to put off doctor's appointments, for some until it's too late. And that's the unfortunate side of what they're doing when they promote things like that, is there are people out there who have to figure it out on their own. And it's too bad, because this really is life or death for some people. And I think what we're going to find, as we found with Anna, as I found for myself personally, is when you're young and your body can sort of recover, even though you've been putting it in an inflammatory state pretty much its entire existence, when you start to hit your 30s, your mid-30s, your 40s, like it sets in how much damage you've actually done. And by that point in time, when you finally start seeing a doctor, you're just praying that it's not too late. You're on medications and you're paying for things that maybe you wouldn't have had to pay for if you had just been doing that preventative work. So I'll leave it there. I'm proud of Anna for taking that first step. That was a hard video to watch, and I'll be wishing her well from my channel. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I will see you in the next one. Bye.